Welcome back to Wilderness Education and to my reloading bench. This is a video on frequently asked questions that I get on my channel page with regards to reloading. About a year ago I posted a set of videos on basic metallic cartridge reloading, and the response I got was absolutely overwhelming. I had no idea that they would be so successful. A few of the videos have had over 20,000 views, so they've been pretty successful, and they've been featured on several websites as well, so it's been a real success. But this video is to address frequently asked questions that I get. First question I get is, do I clean my cases before I reload them? And that is a resounding yes. I do clean my cases before I resize them. I use this tool here. It's called a case tumbler, and inside is corncob media covered in carborundum powder, and that polishes up the brass of the cases and cleans any dirt or grit off of them. It's very important that we do this so we do not drag any grit or dirt or anything like that into our resizing dies, because that can affect the performance of the die. It can cause scratching to the cases, can even, cause denting. So we want to use clean cases in our resizing die. Now, you can clean your cases by using some very, very fine triple O grade wire wool, finest stuff you can get, and clean up the cases that way, and that gives them a good polish. But when you're dealing with large numbers of cases, it's better to use a case tumbler like this. A case tumbler of this size will hold approximately 500 38 special cases, or about 200 free weight size cases. And the vibration action causes the cases to tumble round and round, and it takes a few hours, but when they come out really nice and shiny when you're done. I'll just show you the tumbling action. And you can see the cases, rotating round and round. The time that it takes for your cases to become clean in your case tumbler really depends on how new your corncob media is and how grotty your cases are. If they're once fired, they'll probably be quite shiny from the box. It won't take that long. But if you're cleaning up some really, really grotty, dirty cases that have been picked up off the range, it could take a few hours to get them cleaned up. Really, however long it takes, that's the time you need. Also, it's worth noting that I also put the cases, after I've resized them, I give them a clean up with a rag, and then I put them back into the case tumbler, and that just cleans off any excess lubricant that may be still adhered to the case. Second question I get, can I reload free weight cases in 3006 dies because they have the same bullet diameter? Well, the simple answer to that is you can't do it, because the case dimensions are different. Even though the bullet diameter is the same, the case dimensions are different, and you can't use the resizing or bullet seat dies. You do get universal decapping dies, which don't do anything to the body of the case. All they do is they punch out the old primer. In the case of pistol ammunition, with calibers such as 38 Special and 357 Magnum, the 357 Magnum basically being a slightly longer 38 special case, and because they have no bottleneck design, it's a straight walled pistol case, there are some dies that will allow you to reload 38 special in using 357 Magnum dies, so you can reload both 38 special and 357 Magnum in the same die. It's the same as 44 special and 44 Remington Magnum. So you can, in certain cases, you can do it with pistol ammunition, but you cannot do it with rifle ammunition. The dies are caliber specific, and you need the die that suits your caliber. What's the difference between Magnum primers and standard primers? Well, basically the difference is that Magnum primers burn hotter and have a larger gas volume. When the compound in the primer burns, there is more volume of gas and it's hotter gas, and that allows powder to be burnt more, ignite all the powder and powder to be burnt more efficiently. When to use them? Well, either when a manufacturer specifies Magnum primers in the specific load, or if you are getting incomplete powder burn, or if you want to... I developed a load where it was a 40 grain VMAX, but I only had sort of a powder that was really suitable sort of for 50 and 55 grain, 60 grain bullets. So I used a Magnum primer to complete the powder burn, because the powder was a bit slower burning than what was needed. That comes under load development. I've got a lot of experience reloading, but if you're just starting out, use the primer that's specified in the recipes dictated to by the manual, unless you're very, very experienced. But the difference is that Magnum primers burn hotter with more gas volume. How many times can I safely reload brass? Well, this is a very good question. It really depends on the quality of the brass that you're using, the caliber that you're shooting, and how hot the load is that you're shooting. Lapua brass, which is the predominant brand that I use, makes very, very high quality brass. Norma is also very high quality. Ragu brass is also very high quality. Lapua say that you can get over 10 reloads in their brass from you, and my experience, I don't doubt that claim. But you need to inspect every time you reload. You need to inspect the brass. You need to inspect the quality of it, and you need to see if there's any splitting in the case, in the neck, any stretching in the body, anywhere it looks like it's fatigued, and the brass. Anything out of the ordinary you're looking for. Primer pockets. Some loads are that hot that the pressure expands the primer pocket if the brass is not of high quality, and the primer can be a very loose fit in the primer pocket. So basically, how long does your brass last? Well, how long is a piece of string? You need to inspect it every time that you reload it. But there's no reason why most brass manufacturers shouldn't get 5 or more or reloads. If you're using very high quality brass like Lapua, then you can get over 10 reloads.